What happens when internet fame crosses paths with Mexico's deadliest cartel? This is the true story of Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales, widely known as El Pirata de Culiacán. He was born in 2000 in Villa Juarez, a small town located in Navolato, Sinaloa, Mexico. This region of Sinaloa is infamous worldwide as one of the heartlands of drug cartels, an environment where narco-trafficking, violence, and ostentatious displays of wealth have shaped the culture for decades. From birth, Juan Luis's life was marked by adversity and abandonment. His father was absent, and his mother left him when he was still a baby. Raised by his maternal grandmother, he grew up with very few resources, in a modest home where money was scarce and opportunities were nearly non-existent. By the time Juan Luis reached his early teenage years, he had already dropped out of school. Like many young people in his region, he found education to be a dead end. An economic necessity pushed him toward manual labor. He started working at a mechanic's shop as an apprentice, learning to fix cars and motorcycles. While this gave him some income, it was barely enough to sustain even the basics. Around him, drug traffickers flaunted wealth, power, and status that far exceeded what any legal job could offer. In Sinaloa, this lifestyle is embedded in a subculture called narcocultura, an entire aesthetic and way of life that glorifies cartel figures through music, fashion, language, and media. Songs called narcocorridos tell tales of drug lords' exploits, wealth, and defiance of authority. Young people often emulate these figures, adopting flashy jewelry, designer clothing, luxury cars, and firearms as status symbols. For Juan Luis, this cultural atmosphere was irresistible. Physically, Juan Luis was stocky and had a round face that made him instantly recognizable. He styled himself with gold chains, designer t-shirts, and often posed in pictures with large bottles of alcohol or firearms, echoing the imagery common in narco music videos. By around age 15, he had developed a reputation locally as someone who could drink anyone under the table. His ability to consume enormous amounts of alcohol quickly became his trademark. This talent coincided perfectly with the rise of Facebook and Instagram video content. Juan Luis started posting short clips of himself chugging bottles of tequila, beer, mezcal, and other strong drinks, often in absurd quantities. He combined these drinking feats with jokes, catchphrases, and shout-outs to his followers. His most famous catchphrase, "Así no más quedó," meaning, "that's how it ended," became synonymous with his persona. His content felt raw, unfiltered, and rebellious, which resonated with millions of young followers across Mexico and in Mexican communities abroad. By 2017, he had amassed over 1.2 million followers on Facebook and was invited to parties and concerts, rubbing shoulders with regional Mexican musicians and minor celebrities. He began appearing in music videos for artists who performed corridos alterados, a genre of narco-corrido music that emphasizes brashness and excess. His fame skyrocketed, but many older Mexicans and critics voiced concern. Some saw him as a dangerous influence, a teenager glorifying alcoholism and criminal culture, while others viewed him as a harmless internet clown simply entertaining his audience. However, his lack of understanding of the real dangers of cartel politics would soon catch up to him. One night, during a live-streamed party, likely under the heavy influence of alcohol, Juan Luis made a reckless and fatal mistake. He insulted Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho, the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG. Specifically, he said, "El Mencho me pela la," which is an extremely disrespectful phrase that, loosely translated, means, "El Mencho can suck my." For context, El Mencho is not just a cartel leader. He is one of the most feared and powerful drug lords in Mexico, leading an organization infamous for brutal violence, assassinations, and terror tactics. Public insults against cartel bosses, especially from someone as visible as El Pirata, are almost always met with swift and deadly retaliation. On December 18, 2017, less than a month after the video circulated, Juan Luis was at Mentados Cantaros, a bar in Tlaquepaque, Jalisco, celebrating with friends. Around 10 p.m., a group of armed men stormed into the bar and opened fire directly on him. Witnesses reported that El Pirata tried to run, but was shot repeatedly at close range. He was struck between 15 and 18 times, primarily in the head, neck, and upper body. He died on the scene, aged only 17, just 11 days shy of his 18th birthday. The aftermath of his murder sparked an enormous reaction. His death went viral on social media, with millions of people sharing tributes, memes, and discussions about what had happened. Many viewed it as a cautionary tale about the dangers of mixing internet fame with the realities of cartel violence. Others mourned him as a symbol of a lost generation of Mexican youth, caught between poverty, narcoculture, and the allure of easy fame. In the days following his death, Mexican authorities identified that the attack was indeed linked to his insult of El Mencho. However, no one was ever formally arrested or prosecuted for the murder. As is often the case in cartel-related killings, impunity prevailed, and the case was quietly closed. Today, El Pirata de Culiacán is still remembered in Mexican internet culture. His catchphrases, memes, and videos continue to circulate, and he has become an almost mythical figure, part cautionary tale, part pop culture icon. Some corrido songs and documentaries reference him, reflecting on how his life represents both the promise and peril of social media fame in regions controlled by organized crime. His grave, located in Sinaloa, is often visited by fans who leave bottles of alcohol as offerings, a testament to how deeply his image of excess and bravado still resonates. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads.